Hello, guys, and welcome to the Patrick Fox Show. This is episode 2. I have a special guest with me today. He's Pure Venom. He's a fellow YouTuber. Awesome channel. Check his details out below. Go and subscribe and see his content. Anyway, I have him here. Hello, Venom.
Hey, how you doing, Patrick? Thanks for having me today.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for doing it. So today we're going to be talking about your channel, of course, and basically what got you into YouTube, why you do the particular games you do, and just have a general discussion.
Okay, sounds good.
Good stuff. So the first question is, what made you decide to get into YouTube?
Um, yeah, it's a good question. Um, Actually, one of my videos, I have a Let's Talk, my Let's Talk series, and it's funny. Um, we I talked a little bit about what got me into wanting to get into YouTube, and the main thing was I love playing video games, and I think anybody who does you do gaming, you love video games, correct?
Yeah.
And so I play a lot, and I just one day I was watching some people YouTube channels, and I said, you know what, I can do that too, and one of the big reasons was I wanted to. I have two young children. I have a he's about to turn 3. I have a 3-year-old. So we're going to turn 3 this month coming up, and my other child's going to turn 2. So I have I want them to do things that make them happy, and to live life not so much, to make money only, or to do things that make them happy. And I love doing this. I love playing video games, and I've been doing YouTube. I love doing YouTube now. I love it. I love doing it. So I just said, how can I teach them about, doing what makes them happy, following, their dreams, or doing what makes them happy if I'm not doing it myself.
Yeah.
So that was one of the, big reasons why I said, I got to do this. I got to do it. I can't just sit around here hoping to do it, or just looking at it and saying, like, man, I really wish I was doing that. And I just got to do it,
Oh, I mean, the stuff I've seen as well. You do it very well. You're very entertaining videos, and I think well, I can only speak from me personally. Is when you create videos, is you want the video to entertain yourself. That's one of the reasons why you do it. But you want to entertain other people, and hopefully other people will see that you enjoy it as much as you do, and then come along for the ride by subscribing or liking, and join a community of people willing to help other people without any sort of payback in a way.
Oh yeah, it's been unbelievable. The like you said, the support that I found, like this group of individuals, fellow YouTubers that we've kind of like come together, and I've made some good friends in the past couple of months. That I've gotten to know people that I wouldn't have gotten to know if I wouldn't have done this, and it's been really cool.
Oh, definitely. I mean, for me, the biggest jump when I start, because I created video. I've had my channel for a while now, since 2011, and I've only just decided to do gaming related stuff, so game like chat or game videos. And I wanted to become a partner with someone. I looked at Freedom, and there wasn't much said about it, and I thought, I've actually gone to the front, and it seems like a genuine nice place, so I'll join. And that was the best move I did, because the community is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yes, I agree with you. That joining Freedom really helped me out a lot. It's and that's where I got to know most everybody that I've gotten to know. Like you said, Wilboski. There's so many I can name. Camaro. There's so many people that Taco Bay. He's on there too, and they're really great people. And I've got to know them. I met you through Freedom. I think you saw one of my videos, and that's how I met you also. So yeah, definitely the Freedom, the community is really great, and it's really cool because it just started. They're not the Freedom Network just it just started recently, and I think that that contributed to it because we everybody it was kind of like people that weren't getting into other networks were getting in here and they were happy because Freedom was taking them in, and they're grateful for that, and there a lot of small channels, and we've all come together, and it's really really cool.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like we just we was discussing with what I was discussing with Will is George has created. So I mean, yeah, him as a CEO is he's an awesome CEO. You can clearly see he wants people to grow their channel, but it's a community that will make it work. I mean, you can be the best CEO in the world, but if you don't have the right people within your community, then it's going to fail. And we got some great, fantastic people coming in. And like you said before, we came into it near enough at the birth, at the creation, and we can see how freedom is growing now. And
Yeah.
I can see them tighten their restrictions on who they're going to accept now, because at the beginning they probably would need people to join. If you know
Hmm.
what I mean, that sounds mean, but you can see why the restrictions would be put in place now. In a way of you need there's certain guides, no, not guides. There's certain things you need, for example, to become a freedom member.
Yeah, it'll. I mean, because they can't just they would get too big, and you get to the point. I think maybe they would get to the point where they can't regulate themselves because there's just I mean, everybody's just coming in and coming in and coming in, and they're just so big that because they take a lot of risk bringing in the channel actually by letting me join their network. There's actually there's risk on their part because if I get copyright strikes and stuff like that, it goes against the whole network, not just my channel. It goes against them as well. So there's a lot of risk in just bringing in anybody, any channel into their network.
Oh yeah, definitely, and they've got you can see the staff growing as well all the
Yes,
time. You can see the staff growing, and they're recruiting people within the community as well.
definitely, because they know where we're coming from. Um, they got started with us, so they know the struggles. They know where uh, where we're coming from. So yeah, it definitely helps out doing that.
So, it, did anyone inspire you to do YouTube, or was it something that you felt you needed to do, or was there a particular person or channel or who inspired you to go ahead and do YouTube?
Actually, the funny thing is, yes, there is actually a channel that did kind of inspire me to do YouTube. And as you know, my channel, I do a lot of Call of Duty. So I used to get on YouTube and check out Call of Duty videos and stuff like that. And there's a YouTuber, maybe who is it? It's a White Boy 7th Street. Um, he does a lot of Call of Duty. He was really big. He doesn't do it so much anymore, but he used to be really really big in Call of Duty back in Black Ops 2, stuff like that. And his story is actually pretty remarkable, honestly. His um, for for what he's gone through in his life, and he's young. He's young. I'm old. I'm old. I'm way older than he is, and he's young. But for what he's gone through in his life, and to be able to um, grow this channel that he has with all the obstacles that were presented in his life, is pretty remarkable. Because he could have chosen a different path in life, and he didn't. And what he's been able to do, and the way he interacts with the subscribers and stuff like that, it kind of really shaped how I wanted my channel to be too, because he's always, thanking his subscriber. Because it's true. I mean, I I thank my subscribers all the time because without them, I wouldn't have anything. I just, there'd be no views. There wouldn't, and they're the ones who are watching my videos. It's, I'm very grateful that they go to my channel and watch my videos, and comment and leave the likes and all that stuff. I mean, it's just so awesome, and I love it, and I thank them so much for that. And he's he was that way too, and really, if you go there and you check him out, he's the things he was able to do is it's truly remarkable, and it's pretty inspirational for him to be where he's at right now. It's either you can either choose to grow or or die. I mean, that's the way I see it. There's two things. You can either let your life experiences let you grow or kill you, and I like to grow on my experiences, um, but yeah, it's just like that.
In the future, obviously, games are going to be released. What games are you looking forward to playing in the future?
Oh, oh man, I'm to be honest, I look forward to playing so many games, but I have so little time. Which is why you usually like right now on my channel I'm doing a lot of Call of Duty. I was trying to do I had a at one moment I was doing my series on my Call of Duty Ghost. I was doing a Way Back Wednesday, I was doing the Outlast, I was doing the Dead Rising, and I just didn't have any more time. Um like I said, I have a family and a business, so I am so busy all the time. And I couldn't find more time, and I was actually talking to Will, and I said, I need to drop some series because I hate to do it, but I just can't. Like I'm not putting out quality stuff. I'm putting out some quantity stuff, but it's not coming out. I'm not happy. I was not too happy with what for a little while what was coming out. And I said I'm dropping some series and I'm focusing on what I'm good. I'm really, I'm good at Call of Duty. So I was like, that's going to be my main focus. And then, if I have time, I'll do some of the other games. But I mean, I look forward to games all the time. And there's so many coming out. We had the E3 not too long ago, and man, it just looks so. I mean, the Halo that's coming out, the Master Chief Call of Duty, man, it looks so good. The Of course, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I I'm I'm hoping it's good. I wasn't too happy with Call of Duty Ghost, to be honest, but unfortunately, it's the only one that's on Xbox One right now, so I'm stuck with it. I got rid of my 360, so I couldn't go back to playing, Modern Warfare 3 or anything like that. So I'm just stuck with that one. I'm hoping, Advanced Warfare is good. There was yeah, some on the Wii U. There's some like really good games that I was looking forward to too. The new Legend of Zelda that's coming out. I'm a huge Zelda fan, huge Zelda fan, and they had that new one coming out. They also have the Hyrule Warriors, which looked really good. Um, uh, there's a new that Alien movie the game that's coming out. Also,
Phenomenal. I mean,
I don't know.
if the game itself lives up to the promises that we're being told, like for example, like the Alien has advanced AI. There's no
Uh,
predictable path. It basically just wanders about on its own, hunting for you. And every single time you play that game is going to be a different experience. If that game just lives up to that alone, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic
oh,
horror game.
I'm with you, man. That thing looks so good, and I really hope it does. I really hope it does. Um, they also got that Evil Within coming out.
That looks good as well.
It looks really good too. Yeah, and there was one more, and the name is escaping me. I think it's like man, I can't
What's it
think of
about?
it. It's a shooter game also. Um,
Destiny.
no, not Destiny. It's more like a like I want to say it's like a Tom. Is it Tom Clancy?
Oh, I know which one. Yeah, yeah. The Division, it's called.
That yes, there we go. Yes, that one.
Yeah, it's using the Snowdrop engine, which looks phenomenal.
Unbelievable. That game looked so nice. And games nowadays they're just. I mean, I'm in my 30s, so I'm I grew up with NES, the old school, and where games are at now is unbelievable. I think kids nowadays don't realize just how far along they've come. Yeah, they blow you away. When you're looking at the things the games. Well, I used to play with. When I was small compared to now, and it's crazy.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's like I follow a couple of guys on Twitter, and they're into the retro stuff. Same as me. So I like playing the old games, like the SNES and Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario, and
Yeah.
they post a few pictures of their kids playing Super Mario on the NES.
Hmm.
And it just shows you that just because the graphics might not be that good, graphics don't make a game great. It's people have this impression that because a game looks good, it has to be good. And a lot of games that look good in the past have failed miserably because either the gameplay is not that good or something fails within it. So to see these young kids now playing consoles that I played on, like the Master System, the Mega Drive, even going back to like the Atari, you have
Yeah.
games on them that might not be visually appealing, but they still have that addictive quality to them.
Well, and the thing is that back, when you had like Mario, Super Mario, Mario 2, Mario 3, which were great. I played them so much. I put so many hours into those games, and and I think the reason was because when they made a game and that was it. There was no DLC. There was no let me fix it later. They that was their like that's it. So they put so much into that game, and it had to be complete. The story had to be complete. Everything had to be complete, and they were a lot of fun. I don't care. Uh, the original Super Mario Brothers. Uh, it was a fun game to play. Everything from the sounds to and it was easy enough to pick up very quickly, but at the same time, it was also just hard enough to take a while to beat. Like you couldn't just pick it up that day. More likely, pick it up and then just beat it that same day. You had to practice and things like that. So, but it was so easy to pick up. I mean, I think when I got my first Nintendo, I was maybe 5 years old, and I remember. I mean, it was so easy. It was just two buttons and up, right, left, down, whatever, jump, and that's it. So it was really easy to pick up. And nowadays there's like 17 buttons that you got to learn, and different combinations of buttons, and a lot of the times, like my wife, she likes playing the old school games because they're easier. She sees if I hand her the Xbox controller, she's like, "What do I do?" Because there's so many buttons on this thing, like, and but yeah, it was. But definitely, man, those classics, they won't go away. They're so much fun.
No, definitely not. And it's like you said before about the games themselves having to be complete and to make sure they're shipped out correctly with no faults. Now you get the feeling sometimes developers get lazy because they know that they can fix it on an update. So if
Hmm.
they come across a bug, oh, we can fix it at a later date. Let's just ship it anyway. And
Yep.
you see that all the time. You see games that are so buggy. And I mean, the biggest one, and it's still very buggy, is GTA 5 Online. It is unbelievable, buggy, completely buggy. And what they should have done, especially with the online part, was have a, say, 4 week beta test. Just put it out to selective people. Have a competition, play the beta before everyone else, and to have people leave feedback on the game. And you see that now. I think Destiny has a beta out, which is superb because then you get instant feedback. You don't have to wait for the game to be shipped and then them to fix it, to patch it. They can get feedback, instant feedback, and they can fix it while it's not being shipped, and it works better. But because some companies are so worried about leaks and stuff, they prefer to become lazy and then patch it later on.
Oh, and it all has to do, and maybe it's not so much the developer, because I'm pretty sure that the
the people who are working on it don't want to put out a bad product. But unfortunately, they're working for big corporations and they need money. Bottom line is they want to see a title released and money in the bank, because the longer they don't have it out, the more money they're paying to developer, to the people who are making the game, programmers and everything. So and it's kind of like they're just trying to push out, and sometimes the best thing that they can do under the circumstances that they're presented with. And but when you look back at some of the, I remember playing Link to the Past, I think it is, on the Nintendo 64. I believe it was on the Nintendo 64. Legend of Link to the Past. And I remember it blew me away. And to think about, like, I think now the story that they were able to do, and the game that they were able to, with the limited amount of resources, because I mean, let's be honest, the 64 wasn't the most powerful, uh, computer, but man, did they make a awesome video game. And now you have these multi-million-dollar budgets, with Call of Duty, Battlefield, Grand Theft Auto, those type of things. And sometimes, I did a video where I was kind of, I guess, releasing some um, uh, stress or whatever you want to call it on Call of Duty Ghosts. And I said, as a consumer, we have a right to voice our opinion, because we spend a lot of money to play these games. I buy. I usually, well, with Call of Duty, I don't buy the regular edition. I buy, the $100 or $150 edition. I buy headphones just so I can play Call of Duty. I have the best internet in where I live so I can play Call of Duty, and it's just to play Call of Duty. That's it. Um, I have you know, computer monitor, gaming setup, all these things that I buy just to play Call of Duty, and then you give me a product that's not really great, then we as consumers have the right to voice our opinions. And some people are saying, well, you're just crying, you're being a crybaby, and you need to stop. Well, no. Or how are they gonna, if we don't tell them what they're doing wrong, how are they ever gonna get better? They're just gonna keep on giving us whatever they're saying. Well, they're gonna buy it anyway, and they're not saying anything. We'll just keep on giving it to them year after year.
Yeah.
So,
And that's where I think. I mean, I was a huge COD fan when it was in the war era, and then it went to Modern Warfare, which I absolutely loved. I think Modern Warfare was a phenomenal game. Modern Warfare 2 was excellent. Number 3 was not as good. And then from Modern Warfare 3, it went down. But saying that, I do absolutely love Black Ops. I loved the story. I loved online. It was one of those games I actually enjoyed playing, and I actually got really addicted to it. And I played Ghosts, and I was so disappointed because I paid full price for a 3-hour campaign. Now, a lot of people say, well, it's an online game. And it's like, yeah, I know that. But that's even more of a kick to the face when they're charging you 60 quid for an online game.
And the funny thing is that it's actually, if you actually look at it, and there's a YouTuber, Drifter, who did a really good video on this. He did a real, where everybody says Call of Duty is an online game. Well, it's about the multiplayer. Well, when in reality, if you look at it, it sells millions of or a million copies, right? The Call of Duty Ghost. And if you actually look at it, there's only about maybe 50 to 100,000 people playing online. That means that there's 900,000 people that bought the game just for the campaign. You cannot say that it's not about the campaign.
Yeah, but it's scary when the campaign is only 3 hours long.
Well, that's what he was saying. They got to do a better job at giving out a better story mode, because that is the majority of the people that are buying the game. If you look at the sheer numbers of it, they're buying the game to play the campaign.
Call of Duty has such a following now. As I said, I've been a huge fan of Call of Duty. I was a big fan of Medal of Honor, but that sort of disappeared now.
Hmm.
COD's the only one, sort of the one of the franchises that has stuck around because the fan base has been that good. And I think that's the reasons why Activision, Treyarch, and even Infinity Ward. I hope Sledgehammer can do something because they were a part of Modern Warfare 3, which wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't great. So I am hoping that Sledgehammer can do something new.
I'm excited about what Sledgehammer can do, and I'll tell you why. Sledgehammer took over Modern Warfare 3. Um, when they had that whole breaking up, the whole breaking up and everything. And basically, they put out a finished product in less than a year. They took almost nothing and put out Modern Warfare 3 in less than a year from the time they got it. And to be honest, they did a really good job. I enjoyed Modern Warfare 3 more than I enjoyed Call of Duty Ghosts. So they did, they did a phenomenal job considering how much time they had to work on it. Um, so I'm actually very um, excited about what they can do because they were supposed to not they weren't supposed to work on Modern Warfare 3. They were actually working on on a on a on a Call of Duty title, but taking it in a whole different direction originally when they were brought on. But when everything happened with they when they Infinity War kind of broke up and everybody left, they took it over. It was presented to them and just kind of said, "Look, if we're going to give this to you, if you do really good, you're not really going to get too much of the credit for it. But if you do really bad, you're going to get all the blame." It's basically what they told them. And I think under the circumstances, they did a really good job with Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed playing it. There's no doubts there. I just think again, who for me, who's responsible for COD going? Is it Activision's fault?
Well, no, they're doing to do it's one title a year, but it's three the it's basically three developers doing it there. So they're on a 3 year cycle. So this year will be Sledgehammer, next year will be Treyarch. Then that's the way they're going to be running it. So it's good in a way because essentially they get 3 years or more to work on the title. Hopefully, they do really got them. I'm like I said, I am really hoping Sledgehammer can do it. They can do a really good job. I'm pretty certain Treyarch is doing something good because they've been putting out some pretty good titles. Their Black Ops 2. Um, I really enjoyed those.
Yeah, I enjoyed Black Ops 1 more than I did 2.
You get Infinity Ward in 3 years from now, and hopefully they figure out what they did wrong and and fix it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the thing is as well is they're not going to get it right all the time, and as gamers, we're not expecting them to get it right all the time. But it's a point when you play a COD after a COD after a COD, and they start progressively getting worse. You're thinking, right, you need to do. And again, it's not just as you said, one company. It's various companies that are
Hmm.
creating these games. So who is like quality control? Is it Activision? Is it them who's responsible for them either rushing products or not wanting the best?
Ultimately, I honestly I think it is, man, and the reason being is that they're like I said, they they need something out every November, so they're going to be pushing them, and person because let's say I take pride in my work, the work that I do. Let's say I worked for, let's say, Infinity Ward, which made Call of Duty Ghosts. You know, I'm not gonna go and I would hope this is the way they think, because they're not going to go in there, and you don't go in there thinking, well, I'm just going to do like a mediocre job, and hopefully it gets by. Like, you want to do the best you can do. um but then I feel like Activision they have to be pushing them, because every year they need a new Call of Duty out. They need, because they're spending so much money that they need to recoup all that money. And the way they're doing it, is pushing it out, and then pushing out DLC for the remainder of the year. So you get, you have your Call of Duty come out. It's in November, and then every 3 months or every couple months, you get the DLC coming out, DLC, because they got to make their money somehow. They got to make it back.
The only frustrating part about the DLC is, and we've seen it repeatedly done, is them reskinning old maps and charging people for them when they've already bought them necessarily. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not a computer. I don't create computer games, and I can imagine it's pretty frustrating at times. But when you have this is always when you have a map that's already been out in the public domain, played by the gamers, that should be a free add-on. It should be, right, okay, here's a free map. And that's what I think they should have done with Black Ops, is when they release Black Ops, they say, look, you've got the classic map collection, of all the original Black Ops maps. Even in the original form, they don't have to be upscaled or anything like that. Just bring them over. It just seems that with all these microtransactions, like we were saying, like as you said, about companies just wanting their money and charging, what's like £5 for gun camos. It's like it must take them 10 minutes to create if they've already got the template.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's I don't mind the idea of DLC if it's done right, of paying for, but they are getting to a point where, and I'm like, really? Like, you want me to pay $4 for my gun to look like it has tattoos? I don't know, right? Like, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Like, if the people do it, and that's the problem, is that they do it, and just so that they can say I have it. And but you got to get to the point where you can say, come on, like, for all these different costumes, like, I think it's like $4 to look like a spaceman. Again, I really don't care for that. So, but yes, I do see where you're coming at. There should be some free. Especially like you said, like the older maps. Favela just came out in the new map pack. Maybe that should have come free to everybody, and then you just release a regular map pack with new maps.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see why they couldn't do it. And like you said before, they're just very money hungry.
And that's just big corporations, man. That's gonna happen. It's good. Activision's not a little corporation, so they're not gonna. At the end of the day, I hate to say it, but we're just numbers to them.
We're just a big purse. That's all it is.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Have you got a favorite game franchise?
A favorite game franchise? Well, obviously I play a lot of Call of Duty, but favorite game franchise? I'd have to say the Zelda franchise, the Zelda series, all of them. I love them. I love the story. I just I love getting lost in those stories, man.
Yeah, I've got a friend who is absolutely manic on it, and to be honest, I've never sat down and played them because I've never owned the only Nintendo machine I've ever owned. I think it was the SNES. That's the last Nintendo machine I owned. So obviously, when it comes out on the Wii, and obviously it came out on the GameCube, I never did actually play those. So, I mean, as you as a fan of Zelda, am I missing out on what would I be missing out on if I wasn't, like, now I've not played Zelda? What would I be missing?
Oh well, if you haven't played any of them, I mean, it's a, like I said, I love the story.
Yeah.
The second one that came out, Zelda 2, that one was really where I got hooked on it, and I always draw blank. I have a really bad memory. I have a really bad when it comes to like names and titles and stuff like that. I'm always googling everything. It's like right on my phone, like right away. So, but yeah, the Adventures of Link, which is Zelda 2, that one absolutely hooked me. The story, um, right away. And you had Links to the Past, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time. I mean, and it's just this, eh, this just like I said, this awesome story that comes with each game, and each game you're gonna get your money's worth. I feel.
I mean, would you advise to start at the very beginning, or is there a point where I can come in without the prequels, if you know what I mean?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny because they don't. The story itself, um, is not that. It's actually kind of complicated the way it works. If you go chronologically, like if you want to know the story chronologically, you would have to start with which one was it? Let's see. I think let me see. I'm getting on Wiki right now, and it looks yeah. You would have to start with Skyward Sword. Then I mean there's so many Zelda titles. Um, and then they all you would go chronologically like in order, and it's funny because um they I think the Legend of Zelda: The Adventures of Link, I believe, are like they're the first two that came out, and chronologically in the timeline, the Zelda timeline, they're the last two, if that makes any sense. But, but yeah,
What I might have to do is just read the story on Wikipedia. I think that
Yeah.
might help.
yeah, 'cause it's pretty. It goes into a lot of different directions. I mean, they made so many games, so they had to go into different directions and different stories and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really great, and the games are good. They're great games. Um, they're long for the most part. Any one of them, they're not. You're not gonna sit down. Um, usually, unless you're trying to do like a speed run or something through them, you're not gonna sit down in a day and beat them. You're gonna take um, several hours to beat them, and they're really good.
Mine, I have to say, is I think Tomb Raider is one of my favourite
Yes.
franchises, as well as Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid is probably my most favourite because, like Zelda, the story is so epic, and each game is different to itself, but is a part of a larger story. Are you looking forward to the new Metal Gear?
I, to be honest, I've only played one Metal Gear game. I played, and I can't remember which one it was. And I'm not gonna. It was a good story. It was, but I don't like the stealthy games too much, and I'm really impatient. I'm such an impatient person, and so for me, like I want to run and gun, and and that's why I like Resident Evil 4. You're just gonna run, guns blazing, and take everybody out. And but with that one, it was more like you gotta stay in the shadows and wait and uh it was a good story. I'm not gonna lie. The game had a good story. I would just get so impatient sometimes.
You as a sniper wouldn't be a very good job choice.
No, if you actually watch, I have sniper videos on Call of Duty. I don't sit. I'm running around like I have an assault rifle.
I've
I
noticed,
don't,
yeah.
I don't sit.
Yeah, I don't sit in one place. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be the worst. I'd be like the worst. I think if I was in the military, they'd probably kick me out because I'd be like the one person like, what are we doing? Just run in there, with all our guns and
But that's what I love about Metal Gear in a way, because especially with grounds, well, I say probably with all of them, you can go in gun ho. You can go in, take out all the enemies, and then reach your goal or wherever you need to do or whatever the mission is. Open worldness is how Metal Gear is going, and I'm happy for it because you can go in guns ho. You can go in, like you said, charge in with your weapons, or you can just sit back and just be patient and wait for the guards to change and wait for the sun to go down. And you got two options, and it's always nice for a gamer to have options instead of being told what to do, where to go, and everything else.
Yeah, and it's kind of like with like the Call of Duty storyline. It's linear. Like it's basically they're gonna put a predetermined path, and then they kind of just guide you in that way, and you can't go away from it. You can't stray away from it. And really, no matter what you do, for the most part, the ending is gonna be the same. Um, it's not going to change, and you don't really get too many you're not going to get options on do this, don't do that, kill this guy, don't kill this guy. It's just pretty straightforward.
So, where can you see? Just say you sat here now. Where can you see gaming now in like 10 years, 5 years, 10 years time?
It's exciting, actually. It's they got Sony is working on that virtual reality headset. And I've heard Microsoft is also secretly working on one. But imagine playing Outlast on virtual reality. It would be.
The thing is, especially when it comes to like VR and stuff like that, is there's no limit. Well, there is limitation, but the limitations for the gamer gets reduced so much because not only are you in an open world, say Grand Theft Auto, for example. You're in Grand Theft Auto, you play it on a TV, you're sort of distracted by the surrounding, you're watching a TV where if you put this headset on, you are physically in that world.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be awesome, especially when you're playing games like Resident Evil. I mean, even when it comes to Alien Isolation, that would be awesome. I mean, it would be shit scary, but you would be on that ship with the alien who is trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And that would be awesome.
that would, man. I can't wait for it. I really can't. And technology now is it's so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. And with not just gaming, with anything like Google Glass, which I'm sure you've heard of, to where stuff like that excites me so much because they're. I wish I could have the Google, even though they look horrible. I think they look it's bad, but it's so cool at the same time to have that technology in your hands. And I guess because I'm from a time when we didn't even have cell phones when I was growing up. Just had, if you had to get a hold of somebody and they weren't home, you were shit out of luck, man, because you know when they were going to get home. There was no way of finding out. Once they left the house, that's it. You had home phones, and that's it.
I was excited when I got a pager. I'll be honest with you, I was really excited.
Yeah, I remember getting a pager too.
I remember when the pagers came out, and I was in school, and I wanted a pager so bad, and I was like, people can get a hold of me. I was like, really the only people that get a hold of me were my parents, because like nobody else was calling me. Like, and the access that we have to information nowadays is, with Google and everything, anything you need it's at the tip of your fingers. Anything you need, and that is it just blows me away.
That's the thing. We've been born in very interesting times, and to see technology come so far in the last 10 years. I mean, the internet wasn't, as we know it, wasn't born. It was like 1992 when the internet sort of took hold, wasn't it? And then obviously it branched out, and internet connections were. I mean, I remember buying a PC that had like 1.5 megabytes of RAM. I mean, you can't run a phone on that now. What? Oh, I can't even read my own writing here. What's that? Who is your favourite game character?
My favorite game character. Wow, that's a good question. That is I would have to say Mario. He's like my first and only. I mean, Mario is the whole reason I fell in love with video games. And he's still around. Super Mario. They're still coming out with Super Mario games. I mean, just to it's remarkable that he's been able to be around this long, and people still get excited, to hear new Mario games coming out. And I gotta say, man, it's Mario.
For me, it's difficult. I've got one from recent times, which I said probably Ellie from The Last of Us. I think she's just phenomenal as a character. Again, I mean, I'm going to go cliched here, but I'll probably say Solid Snake, Big Boss. I like Tomb Raider as well, like Lara Croft. Not for the obvious reasons, but because she's just a strong female character, and we get all these feminists going, "Oh, gaming's just for blokes," and it's like, how many female gamers are out there? Not just on YouTube, they're on Twitter, tweeting their videos, and they're honestly, I've watched tons of videos, and you have the girl who is playing the game, and they're superb, and it's not just a feminist. Sorry, it's not just like a boy thing now. Years ago it might have been considered that, but now, you have all these ladies and women and girls playing video games, and it's cool, and if they can play them and not have because a lot of video games, like for example the Lara Croft character, which I keep going back to, but she shows how a female character can be portrayed in video games without being overly sexy or, like took it. You know what I mean? So if you can do a character like Lara Croft right and get it spot on, then there's not a problem. It can be done. It's not like it can't be done. And all these feminist people who, bang on like video games are just for boys. It's just no, it's not. There's thousands of females out there playing video games. So if you could mash two games together to make one big game, what two games would you mash together?
I didn't think about something like that. That's if I could mash two games together to make one game. Maybe recently I started playing Outlast, which is it is so phenomenally scary. And the thing is, it's just a video game, and you still jump and scream and it still gets you. Maybe like an open world, real horror game, not like Dead Rising 3 where you have the zombies and it's kind of cartoony, and it's not too scary, but something like that, something maybe like an open world real horror game where real scares. I would like to see something like that, like a
GTA and Alien Isolation.
Something like that, where you're playing in a big area, different obstacles. You're in a huge city or something, and it's like really scary. You know which movie? Was it 28 Days Later?
Yeah.
28 Days Later. The zombies and that movie was so good because the zombies were not like your run of the mill and they take forever to get to you. They were like vicious, scary. You know, maybe something like that, where there's real horror involved, real, you're really sweating. Like I play out loud, I'm really sweating. I'm like, oh my God, like what is coming out next? Uh, and stuff, something like that.
No, I like the idea because I've always thought of like for like GTA 5 online type thing is like have a zombie sort of DLC like they did with Undead Nightmare for Red Dead Redemption. I loved Undead,
Okay.
absolutely loved it. I thought it was an absolute awesome idea, and it fits in perfectly with your idea. I think, yeah, I think we should, Matt. I think we should actually get our hands together and do this ourselves, make ourselves some
Yeah.
money. I think.
And something where it's not maybe, like with like Dead Rising 3, everybody's already a zombie. But you maybe where you progress, where you start off, normal, but then little by little, and you're getting into where like a movie kind of progresses along. Not everybody starts off. It's like this huge, uh, but something like that.
I think the definite twist of this game is you as a player are a zombie. You've been infected. You don't know it, and as you progress, you see your energy drop a little bit. You're more thirsty, or you're more aware. And as you progress, maybe you realise in the game somewhere that you have been infected. Obviously, it takes time for the infection to take hold, and then you need to go out and search for an antidote. I don't think you should get an antidote. I think he should. I think the player should die as a zombie, and I think, yeah, we want a nice happy ending, but he could sacrifice himself to save a child that was caught up or whatever, and make himself the hero. But yet you play a zombie's journey. I think that'd be interesting.
Sounds interesting.
I'm not actually going to put this in the podcast because I know for a fact one of these game companies are going to be listening in right now, nicking this idea. Now, if I see this in a game, publishers, I'm coming straight for you because you heard this here first. Me and Venom done this, not you. So there we go. That's untold. If you could be any game character in the whole history of gaming, who would you be?
Oh, if I could be any game character, huh? Yeah, I always thought from Resident Evil 4, um, what's his name? Leon, I think that's what his name is.
Yeah, I think Will named him last week.
I always thought he was really cool. um, no, or from Ninja, Ninja Gaiden. But I know I would have to say Leon from Resident Evil 4. This how he was a pretty cool guy.
For me, not necessarily. It's not necessarily a game character, but that block in Pong. I don't know why. I can relate to that little dot. Don't know how, but I don't know. I mean, on a serious level, I don't know. I mean, again, be cliche to see Solid Snake a big boss, but probably Lara Croft because I've got breasts. I don't know. That's a hard one, and I know I asked that question myself. So I'm gonna.
There's so many and that's why we play video games, because we can be all of them.
Yeah,
we can be all of our favorite characters, because there's so many that you could be. I mean, Link, it'd be kind of cool. Not the little kid Link, like the older Link. From Legend of Zelda. And there's so many cool characters.
to be honest, to play the alien from Alien Isolation would be interesting.
Yeah,
That would be interesting because you get to be one of the most feared enemies of the universe. You get to kill people, which is always nice.
and that would have been a cool thing. Like they have that new game coming out. What is it called? Where you play it's up to 5 players, and it's 4v1. You can either play one of the one of the good guys, or you can be the monster. And that would have been kind of cool for like Aliens, where you could have played the alien. Um,
That would be awesome.
Playing against, maybe you and a friend, and your friends, you're the alien, and you're going after your buddy.
That would be interesting because you could set it up, especially on the ship, where look, you've got to get to that air dock. Can you get there before your mate finds you?
Yeah.
That would be that. Yeah. Now that again, that's taking that multiplayer element to another level because nothing's been done like that before.
Yeah.
And if it's done right and if it's catered right and well crafted and well maintained, that would be pretty. Again, if you're listening, the creators of Alien Isolation, we want some money if you steal our idea. And what's your favourite type of franchise?
My favorite type of game is first person shooters.
Because obviously you've got the Division coming out very soon, which is a third person's perspective.
Yeah.
Do you like those type of games? Considering because I mean, if you could switch from third person to first person, I mean that would be awesome. If you had that ability to, if you wanted to aim, you could go straight into your gun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but as a third person game, the Division, obviously, you said you're looking forward to it, but are you still into those type of games as well?
When it's done right, yes. And a good example of a game done right was Resident Evil 4. And I keep on talking about it, but it's high up there on my list of favorite games. Because that game was done right. That game was really good. So I do like I do like those games when they're done correctly.
Well, I think one game that got it spot on in my opinion was Gears of War.
That was also really, really good.
I think that's it. I think we've covered all aspects. Is there anything that you would like to add?
No, that was a really good, man. I really, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and I wish you a lot of success with your channel.
Same back to you.
Great channel. And but no, this was awesome. This was awesome.
Oh, good stuff. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming on. And guys, if you want to check out Pure Venom's channel, you can do below. There's going to be a link on the screen as well. So go ahead, check his channel out. He makes awesome videos. If you're into COD as well, go and check him out because he's really good. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.